Alright gang, first thing we're going to do has nothing to do with these two sears. This will be the second thing that we do, is get on these sears, see if they run. If they do, try to get them moved on down the road. Next, we're going to drop the fuel bowl off of this MTD engine. Yeehaw. We got 420 cc's and this thing is 418. That's funny. Hello diesel. So we're going to tackle this, drop that fuel bowl. Hopefully I can get the fuel bowl off, because the way they engineer it's just dumb. I'll show you that here in just a second. Well, there it is. Let's take a quick look. We have two screws holding the fuel solenoid on, and then we have one bolt underneath it, or above it, that will free the fuel bowl. But I'll tell you what, we're going to take the lesser of two evils. We're just going to pop the carburetor all the way off. So let me go ahead and do that. It's going to be a pain. As you can see, the anti-backfire solenoid is below this edge, and there's a blue million bolts to take off to get this plate out of the way. I mean, a blue million bolts of all different, of varying sizes. Got little ones, medium-sized ones. There's a big one up in the front. So I think what we're going to do is just unbolt it here, get the air cleaner off and out of the way. See if we can't back these studs out, because they go into the block. Hopefully they're threaded so we can just pull those out. Then we should be able to free up that carburetor. So let me get to that point and get the carburetor off and in my hands, and we'll see what we have. Alright, well, I'll give that to MTD. At least they made those studs removable and they're not pressed in, which pressing them in didn't make a lot of sense to me anyway. So got that one loose. Finish spinning this one out, and then we can get the whole carburetor off of there and get it over on the workbench and see what's going on with it. Of course, these two studs are holding all kinds of stuff in place. I already popped the throttle cable and the dampener off. After doing that, it enabled me to do that. So we've got the carburetor off. It's a HUAY carburetor. It's interesting. Alright, now let's get these gaskets off and keep those safe over here so we don't lose them. And we'll pull the studs too. Just temporarily stick them back in the holes. Let's get over to the workbench, see what we got. Alright, got it off and in the vise. Let's see if we can't get that fuel solenoid popped off of there. And I'm using the PZ2 bit because these are JIS screws, not Phillips head. There'll be a little dot. If you guys can see the dot on that or not. It's right there. So we're using the PZ2. Get the screws out. I already drained the carburetor. I'd ask you guys, isn't this fun? But you know, it's only fun for you folks to watch. There we go. Alright. See, with the carburetor on the mower, I could not, for the life of me, get that off. That's Mama Sue. She's been texting me quite a bit here this morning. There's no need to answer it. I'm sure it's just a reply. Then it looks like we've got, oh, I don't know, looks weird. Looks like it might be a 14. And my tool cart's facing the wrong direction. So we'll just go this route so we're sure we've got whatever we need here, right? So I'm not having to hunt and peck for it. Ah, well, that figures. Well, it is 14, but I need a socket. Yay! You guys get to wait again. Loving that, aren't you? Yeah, I'm prepared for something. What am I prepared for? Can you hear me mumbling? I'm prepared for what lies next. Ha! I'm not going to worry about spraying it off or anything. We're just going to get the fuel bowl off. After we get the fuel bowl off, we will turn this thing so we can get a little better view of what's going on. And the O-ring is split, so I'll need to replace the O-ring. You guys can see right there, O-ring split. No big deal. I've got O-rings. Let's take a look. It's pretty clean in there. It's not bad at all. I think it's just a combination of bad gas, just getting, and water, getting sucked up into the carburetor. Just it would run for a little bit, then you'd have to choke it like you're having to siphon fuel in. So instead of taking that jet out, we can run a wire through it. And I've told you guys about these before. These are just torch tip cleaners, and they work really, really well. And there's a plethora of sizes for the size of the hole or orifice. Let's see, I'm just going to take a guess here. That one's a little small, so we can keep stepping up in size. That one's too big. I took too big a bite. That one is exactly the size, so we'll go down one more. There we go. And then we will take the bare wire here. Come here, bare wire. Come on. And just shove it through, make sure that we're clear, and I can see that wire coming through this way. So, and you guys can't see a thing I'm doing, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and turn it. I'm using my soft jaws on the vise. All I'm doing is going down through there. I'm going down through and just essentially pipe cleaning it. Now let's check the needle and see. I'm pretty sure this is clear too. There we go. And I already know that I've got good fuel flow going to the carburetor. That's not a problem. I don't know if you guys can see down here on the floor. No, you can't. Anyway, take my word for it. There's a big puddle of fuel on the floor. I say fuel nowadays because it's no longer just gasoline, right? It's that nasty ethanol stuff. So I've got all my parts. I'm going to stick everything in the parts washer after we do just a little bit of blowing out. So let me grab the air hose. Alright, I'm really liking these Merlin. Whoops, might help if I had some air, huh? Right? Gotta have air. There we go. Now we're, well, I can't say cooking with gas, but we've got air. Watch your eyes. I'm gonna cover it so I don't blow the camera. Good thing I did that. There was quite a bit in there. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just gonna blow down. That's a weird sound, wasn't it? Alright, let's get up here and take a look inside. We've got another port right here and another port right here. So we will gently clamp that in the vise with the soft jaws. Get my tip cleaners out again. I'm just going to use the really small wires. Okay, clear and clear. That just looks like it bottoms out to nothing, so I'm not worried about that one. Let's get these two blown out. Just very light air pressure, about like this. Don't need a lot, just a little bit. Yep. And then this one. Good and good. Everything's clear. So now, I guess that since everything is clear, we can stick this thing in the parts washer for a little bit. After it comes out sparkly, brand new looking clean, we'll put it all back together, throw it back on the tractor. Or, I say that term very loosely, the mower. Lawn tractor, as Sears likes to call them. And we will go from there. So, it's going to be a little bit for me, but for you guys, it'll be quick. Well, where'd the carburetor go? Where'd the carburetor go? Just came out of the cleaner. Watch your eyes. Alright. We got that cleaned up. Now this is the one we need an O-ring for. Here's the bad O-ring that got crushed and split. And that's from the factory, because this carburetor's not been taken apart that I'm aware of. So we have a small assortment of O-rings. Let's find what we think might be the right size. We might come down here out of view. Let's see how that goes. Oh, beauty. Doesn't get any better than that. Thank you, O-ring kit. If you don't have an O-ring kit and you work on stuff, get one. You'll thank me. I need a little bit more stuff stuffed into this. And something else that's real good to have would be right here, especially if you're working with motorcycles, and that would be a assortment of copper crush rings. And I have run into some carburetors on small engines that also take them, so it's another good thing to have. Copper gaskets, because anytime you change the oil on a motorcycle, you're supposed to replace it, so on and so forth, and yada yada yada. Okay, we have a pretty clean carburetor here. Let's get it into the vise so that we can get everything assembled. First, a float, and just make sure that your needle's in place. Okay. And I did float test the float, and it floated the way it's supposed to float. So it's a floating float. And I'm done saying that word. There we go. Of course we want to check that, don't we? Let's check it. We're going to blow in it. We shouldn't hear any air escaping. Then we'll turn it upside down and blow in it again. Okay, nothing. Now I'm going to turn it upside down. It's clear. Alright, now we can get the rest of her put together here. Got my O-ring back in there. I blew everything out, all the jets, all the passages, all that fun, happy stuff. In fact, let's just do it again on camera so that we can see that it has been done. Ready? Here we go. One. Oh, a little bit more water came out the end there, or cleaning solution. That's good. Now, we'll flip it over and get the idle circuit blown out. Oops, right here. Blow those out again for you. Right there. Clear. Clear. Angle that just right and it's just going to whistle and hurt everybody's ears. Don't want to do that now, do we? Okay, now we are ready for the float and the rest of the main jet with its new O-ring, which will hold the float, or hold the fuel bowl on. So, float. Oh, backwards from how I did it earlier. And I dropped the pin. Come on, Zippo, get with the program. Get her in there. And yeah, still feeling half decent, so that's a good thing, right? And this is a real low impact little doodly-doo here, so alright, now I need to make sure that this faces the correct direction. Okay, I got it. That didn't take too long, now did it. The screw faces the same side as the name of the carburetor, so let's see if we can get that sucker to seat down on there. And it is not wanting to go that way. Do I have to stop and look again? I think I do. Well, let's just make a mess of everything. Okay, it was either fate. Let's see here. See, looking at it, there's a flat in there, and to me that flat should be over here on this side. That makes sense, but that shows this on the opposite side of what the video showed. Hang on again. Alright, I got the orientation. I'm having trouble with that gasket not staying in place down there. It doesn't want to stay. Just stay long enough for me to get the fuel bowl on, will you? Now quit. Sometimes you gotta fight them. Good old MTD stuff, you know. I guess you fight just about all MTDs, don't you? Alright. I'm cheating. I'm relieving a little bit of its tension so that it will just lay down in there the way that it should lay down in there. Let's see if we made it just big enough. I was just stretching it out a little bit. Yeah, that worked. Hey, that worked. Awesome. Cool. Wait a minute, in the words of Bruce Pender, cool. All right, we are squared up. Get that bolt in there and stick the solenoid on. After we get that tightened down, I like these new Icon tools from Harbor Freight. This is the only one I own. It's just the 1/4 inch ratchet, but I really like it. It rivals my Snap-on one. Definitely rivals it. All right, we'll see you guys. I'm gonna mount that up there, and then we'll see you guys over on the engine. Well, we'll give you guys a bird's eye view of the reassembly here. Okay, pop these back out again, and they go in from the back of the carburetor. There we go. Again, from the back of the carburetor. And we want to go ahead and hook up the choke before you put the bolts back in. And if you feel so inclined, you can go ahead and hook up your throttle rod and your stabilizer spring at the same time. Just stick that in there and stick your little spring down in the provided hole, just like that. And then we get these screwed back in, get this reconnected. Suppose we can wait to do the whoops. And make sure that you've got the carburetor in far enough that you're clearing the frame. Oh, what a silly design. At least that happened, so that way I was able to remind you guys and remind myself, right? I got little fingers, but this just isn't working. Come here. Really? Are you really gonna just pop out of there like that? Awesome. Come here. Get back in there. Get in there. I said get in there. Thank you. Well, maybe I can go ahead and plug this in now. Have a little bit more room. There we go. Okay. But you're in a backfire solenoid positive. The negative is a ground that is also holding a couple pieces of sheet metal on. And that bolt is right here. So we can go ahead and just start that one in, I suppose. And get it lined up with the hole. There we go. Brilliant. Easy peasy. Is that down far enough? Yep. All right. And we've got to run these all the way back in. I don't know who in the world's doing that. We've got a truck driver. It's going back and forth in the neighborhood and honking. We are. Our neighborhood's getting repaved. At least half of it has been, which is high time. Here to tell you, the roads in the neighborhood were getting really bad. That one's tight. I love these Knipex Cobras. They are just awesome. They grab, they bite, and they secure everything. Now everything's just the reverse. We'll put the fuel line back on right here. And while I've got the intake out of the way, we'll go ahead and put the clamp back on. Get in there. Thank you. Okay. I'll give you the model number and all that stuff off of this engine. I can do that right now. Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. And I assume that is just the efficiency sticker. That's what that looked like to me. Okay, I got it. It's over here. You want to come over here and see it? It's on a piece of paper, of course. Ready? There you go. This is going to be a long video. Tell you what, let me finish up. It's just the reverse of what we were doing. So let's go ahead and stop the camera. We'll pop it back on once we get it all together, and we'll roll it outside and see if our efforts were successful. Be right back. Noise alert. Let's see if she's going to start for us. Step on the clutch and sit in the seat. Ready? Sit out there and run for a little bit and make sure it's not going to choke itself out. It sounds like it's doing just fine though. MTD through and through, even their own engine. Isn't that awesome? I think it was Mike the tractor guy that told me about those. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. You know who I am. And you know what to do. If you're not subscribed, hit that old subscribe button down there. Give me a thumbs up. See you guys on the next one. Later. I'm out.